The Spokane John Doe, identified as Clifford Bippes. On July 3, 1989, in Spokane, Washington, an employee was working at a landfill moving dirt around with a bulldozer, and he had the plan of moving some debris found there. It was inside that debris that he would find the remains of a person. It's not clear how long the man had been there. It could be 1 to 3 weeks, but he was noted as not being in a recognizable condition. They got the best fingerprints that they could, but they were limited as far as the technology for reading them at the time. He had some broken bones, but that may have happened because of the bulldozer. They were, however, able to get images of his tattoos. His recreation by Carl Koppelman is the one that I know I've seen many times. The situation at the landfill is different now than it was then. Today, the landfill is private and inaccessible outside of open hours, likely in part for this type of reason. Back then, however, it was only maintained by employees every 2 or 3 weeks. It seems like way too often this happens and they're probably not found. So as sad as it is, it was lucky he was found. I know a case in my state, there's a missing girl where her jacket was found at the dump, but she wasn't found at all. They had hoped his tattoos would help identify him. He had a snake on his right bicep, another snake, branch, panther, and wolf head on his right arm. He also had a tattoo of an eagle with Blue River and mountains in the background on his left forearm. Detectives did all they could. They went to all of the local tattoo parlors in the area in hopes of locating an artist who recognized their work, as well as who the man was. Illustrations were shown on the local news. He was 40 to 65 and around 5'6" or 168 centimeters with a receding hairline. The tattoos were probably the best clue, but no one identified him. In 2002, he would be entered into CODIS, but there was still no movement on the case, unfortunately. Thankfully, this is another one that Othram Labs took on, and Othram is located in Texas, and they're at the forefront of a lot of these identifications. Othram and Parabon do a lot of these, but there's new ones like Moxie Labs and Astria Forensics, just to name a few. And then they, of course, upload to public databases to try to find who someone was. And in this case, a close match would pop up. And that's usually, of course, the easiest path to a name once you have a close match. But unfortunately, in this case, it led to a son who had been given up for adoption and was actually in the database hoping to find his biological parents.
It's kind of like a closure. I mean, you figure it out, and you know, I mean, I've probably been searching maybe 15 years, somewhere around there, just off and on in spurts.
A 34-year-old mystery solved and a man found dead in a Spokane landfill identified at last. It all began when a man searching for answers about his biological father got a call from all the way across the country. It was the Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office, as he tells our Help Me Haley. He didn't hesitate to pick up the phone and wasn't entirely surprised to see a Spokane number pop up.
Yeah, this incredible development, truly a combined effort with thousands of miles in between those working to get some answers.
I've been searching and I looked and I've been on 23andMe and Ancestry and a bunch of different other sites. And then I found certain relatives and that was close to me, and I kind of knew my biological mom had went out west.
For more than a decade, 43-year-old Matt Cunningham had been on a hunt for simply answers.
It was more about finding out who you look like, where your traits come from, because when I was adopted, I got a great family, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
He says he entered his DNA into a genetic genealogy database, and from there began connecting a possible family tree. Many leads were out west. That's why when a 509 area code popped up on his phone, he answered. It was the Spokane County ME's office on the other line. More tests were needed to confirm it, including narrowing it down further and revealing his biological father's sister. Samples for reference testing made it official.
They said, we're 100% sure that Clifford Bippes is your biological father.
Clifford Cliff Wayne Bippes. Oldest of 3 siblings, an Army veteran, likely 45 years old when he died. His sister tells me he had his struggles, but will forever be remembered as a happy guy.
Clifford was 44 when he disappeared in January of 1989, and he was found 6 months later in July of 1989. And he was in the same area he went missing from. Before social media, of course, they were showing tattoos on the news and perhaps in newspapers. So it didn't always get to the people that they were looking for. So even though it was in the same town, no identification was made. His sister would say she knew something was wrong when he didn't contact her on her birthday. So this does imply he was in somewhat regular contact with his family, if not really close. But probably the biggest hurdle and what kept him from getting identified so quickly is the last time that his family saw him, he did not have any tattoos. Or if he did, they were covered by clothing. So while tattoos are often an easier path to identification, in this case, it probably stopped it. His sister eventually had a headstone with his name on it placed in 1991 to honor him. By then, she believed there was no way that he was still alive. His sister would share that Clifford served in the U.S. Army and is the oldest of 3 children in that family. He was born in Washington in 1943.
As for Matt, he says his biological family has brought up a possible in-person meeting down the line.
And if the occasion arises, and everything works out in life, and it happens for a reason. So if that's what it's meant to be, we'll plan a meeting.
Cliff's sister tells me she did report him missing after he didn't call her on her birthday, something she said he would never do, never miss. Unfortunately, searches in multiple databases and other investigative tools over the years never made this connection. Still, they have it now, and she says she's forever grateful for some answers.
For the police to be able to do anything in this case, they need someone to come forward with information. Clifford not only deserves his name, but he deserves justice also. Clifford went unidentified for 34 years. Had he lived, he would be 80 years old today. The Buffalo John Doe, identified as Daniel Greishaw. This story begins in Buffalo, New York, in the early 2000s. Daniel had a family who loved him and was alarmed when he seemingly disappeared on June 16, 2002. He's been listed digitally as a missing person, as you can see here, and they looked for him from the beginning, but unfortunately they had no idea what had happened to him, or really even exactly where they should be looking. The 42-year-old man was last seen in the Riverside section of his hometown of Buffalo, New York. Their story is similar in so many ways to other families, unable to fully move on with their future, living in a sort of limbo. Because there was no indication Daniel would walk away from his life, the police in November of 2023 decided to reopen the missing person case and look for him. It took only a short amount of time to realize that a John Doe had been found not long after Daniel disappeared, so why they didn't notice this earlier, I'm not sure. We do know that they placed a missing person report, which often doesn't happen because they're not allowed to, but they were allowed to in this case. What his family did not know then is that a man was found hanging by a belt near the railroad tracks in Erie County, New York, on August 7, 2002. He was 5'9" or 175 centimeters. He had likely been there for 2 months. The man was wearing 33 by 32 inch Calvin Klein stonewashed jeans, a tan shirt, and a t-shirt that said, "Just do it, no fear." The given location is 301 Hertel Avenue in Erie County, New York, on August 7, 2002, near the American Brass Plant. If anyone's feeling hopeless, please contact a helpline. In the U.S., all you need to do is type in 988, and it will forward you to the closest location for help. There's no shame in asking for help. Daniel Greishaw was identified by the DNA Doe Network in November of 2023. Daniel went unidentified for 21 years. Had he lived, he would be 63 years old today. Huge thanks for watching all the way to the end, and a big thanks to all of you who consistently like and comment on the videos. Whether you leave a full comment or an emoji, it makes a huge difference. The whole dance with YouTube is hard sometimes. I gain only about 350 subs a month, So if you consistently watch my videos, maybe take a moment to subscribe. It's a huge push toward the videos being suggested to new people. The next goal is 20,000. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other.